From the first drop into alien territory to the last salute on graduation day, Starship Troopers hurtles you through a future where the price of freedom is paid in armor-plated sweat and blood. Strap in for a guided tour that separates the splashy movie images from Robert A. Heinlein's provocative meditation on service, society, and what it means to be human. 1. The first drop, baptism by fire, and the narrative frame. Our journey opens in medias res, amid the terrifying beauty of powered armor troopers storming the Skinny's city at dawn. Juan, Johnny Rico, our narrator, hurtles toward the surface in a miniature landing capsule that slams home the novel's signature mix of claustrophobic tension and ballistic spectacle. This first chapter is not just an action teaser. It is Heinlein's narrative promise that every theory we later hear in classrooms will be measured against battlefield consequences. We quickly learn that the mobile infantry, MI, is an elite force where an individual soldier, sealed in a mechanized suit, becomes a walking dreadnought. Rico's suit magnifies strength, grants jet-assisted leaps, and projects enough firepower to level city blocks, yet it cannot protect the wearer from fear, poor judgment, or moral responsibility. The first section, therefore, establishes both the adrenaline heartbeat that will punctuate the book and the reflective, almost confessional tone of Johnny's retrospective narration. By flashing forward to combat before rewinding to Johnny's civilian life in Buenos Aires, Heinlein underscores a central tension: military glamour versus the reality of sacrifice. The hooks are set. When we later encounter classrooms, training grounds, and voting booths, we'll remember that every abstract lesson is destined to play out beneath enemy fire. 2. From high school desks to boot camp, education, choice, and consequence. After the razzle of orbital war, the story rewinds to Johnny's final year of high school. Here, the curriculum includes Mr. Dubois' legendary history and moral philosophy class, an arena where Heinlein turns the Socratic method into a literary spotlight on civic duty. Dubois challenges students to define violence, responsibility, and the purpose of the state. In doing so, he articulates the novel's core political thesis: that full citizenship is a privilege, not a right, earned through voluntary federal service. Johnny's decision to enlist is impulsive, born partly from peer pressure. His best friend Carl joins military intelligence, and romantic crush, the brilliant pilot-to-be Carmen Ibanez. His wealthy father pushes for Harvard and corporate comfort, arguing that the military is for those with no better prospects. Johnny's rebellion reveals another theme: the gap between generations in a society recovering from past wars and experimenting with new civic structures. Boot camp at Camp Arthur Curry is a crucible designed to destroy illusions and reveal character. Sergeant Zim, the quintessential drill instructor, personifies both brutality and compassion. Recruits navigate live-fire obstacle courses, weapon drills, and relentless psychological pressure. Hazing incident, check. Washouts and accident fatalities, check. Yet through each trial, Heinlein spotlights personal accountability. Recruits who fail do so under their own steam. They can resign at any time, but continuing means embracing a code where mistakes can kill squad mates. By the end of basic training, Johnny has forged bonds of brotherhood, learned to accept discipline as a form of mutual trust, and received his service number, an identity sharper than any family name. More importantly, we see that citizenship in this world is not hereditary. It is constructed by informed consent and exacting labor. Boot camp therefore becomes the philosophical hinge of the novel, transforming teenage rebellion into conscious commitment. 3. Battles with the bugs, strategy, sacrifice, and shared humanity. The narrative vaults from training grounds to a pan-stellar war against the arachnids, or bugs, a hive species that wields biological specialization, workers, warriors, brains, the way humans wield technology. Each combat vignette, Planet P's cavern shootout, the high-stakes retrieval of Lieutenant Rashak's roughnecks, the catastrophic ambush that claims Dizzy Flores, serves multiple functions. First, the battles dramatize moral philosophy in action. When Johnny's unit loses comrades, the lectures about responsibility cease to be abstractions. Chain of command becomes a lifeline. Hesitation kills. Second, Heinlein juxtaposes human individuality against the bug's collectivist biology. The MI values self-directed initiative within a tight hierarchical lattice, whereas the arachnids operate as a single superorganism, sacrificing limitless numbers without hesitation. Johnny's promotion curve, from private to corporal to lieutenant, is a ruthless demonstration of battlefield meritocracy. You rise because the job must be done, and the previous leader may be dead. Along the way, we watch Johnny wrestle with survivor's guilt and emerging leadership instincts. When he orders nuclear grenades deployed inside a tunnel network, he recognizes that each command he issues transforms living troops into chess pieces. Heinlein, a former naval officer, uses this dynamic to explore the weight of authority. Hidden beneath the bug bombast is a meditation on fear. MI troopers are not fearless. They are habituated to acting in spite of fear. The armored suit becomes an external skeleton for courage, but the novel repeatedly reminds us that a suit is only as capable as the moral organism inside. 4. The moral of the uniform, citizenship, franchise, and freedom. As the war grinds on, Johnny returns to OCS, Officer Candidate School, where classrooms once again bracket combat. The curriculum digs deeper into constitutional structure. Only veterans who have placed their lives at sovereign risk may vote, ensuring that lawmakers value civic survival over personal gain. Heinlein's fictional society has no inherited aristocracy, but it is not egalitarian in the modern sense. Franchise is tied directly to demonstrated willingness to serve the public, whether in combat, research ships, or terraforming teams. Critics have debated for decades whether this constitutes militarism or an attempt to balance rights with duties. The novel invites, even demands, such debate. In Johnny's graduation scene, the camera lens widens beyond individual heroics to interrogate the meaning of earned authority. Saluting the Sky Marshal, Johnny realizes that every ribbon on his breastplate is both a personal story and a social contract. By closing the circle, Johnny stands where instructors once stood, preparing to lead recruits into the unknown. Heinlein underscores a cyclical model of civic renewal. Each generation aspires, suffers, learns, and then instructs the next. The mobile infantry is thus a metaphor for society's immune system, activated by threats but grounded in continuous self-examination.